The ad you just watched? I made the whole thing with AI. No camera, no crew, no shoot. Normally, an ad like this costs thousands from an agency. It cost me about 60 credits. In this video, I'll show you exactly how I made it, step by step, and every tool I'm using is free. Everything you're about to see, the script, all the prompts, it all comes from one file. The skill I built for this, I'm giving it away for free. Comment ads and I'll send it to you so you can run this on your own product today. So here's the plan. We find a reference ad, brief Claude on it, then generate our images, animate them in Google Flow, and lastly, stitch it all together to give us the final result. All right, let's build. So first things first, before we build anything, we need to find an ad for reference. Because you don't make an ad from a blank page, you find one that already works and you recreate it with your own product. So there are 3 places I use: Pinterest, Ads of the World, and Behance. Pinterest is great for aesthetics, the mood, the color, the vibe. Ads of the World has award-winning campaigns and you can search by industry. And Behance is for clean product visuals. For today's build, I'm using a mix of the references I found on Pinterest. All right, so that's step 1. Now we need to turn this into a brief, so let's go to step 2. For this step, we're using Claude. You can also use ChatGPT for it, but today we're on Claude. And the free plan is totally fine. Just make sure you open a normal Claude chat, not Claude Code. Now, the very first thing we do is drop in the skill. Because a Claude skill is just a file you hand it. It turns Claude into a specialist for one job. Drop it in, and instead of a general chatbot, you've got an ad director. Once you do that, it will start asking you questions. This is the skill doing its job. It interviews you the way a director would before a shoot. The first thing it asks for is the reference, or if you have your own idea, you can drop it here. I am dropping in the Pinterest link. Now look here, it says it can't open the link. That's completely normal. Some sites block access. The fix is simple. You either attach the downloaded video or a screenshot. For this build, I'm attaching a few screenshots I grabbed from the videos and hit enter. Once you do that, it asks about the product, what it is, the shades, all that. So let's upload one image, the one with all 4 Naso shades: Toast, Rose, Morello, and Blackberry. And if you don't even have a product yet, don't worry. The skill can generate one for you too. Once you send that, it'll come back with a few more questions. As you can see, it's asking us to explain our brand voice and colors. For this build, I want the background and palette to match the reference images. I'm also dropping in all the brand documents so it understands the brand better. Attach those and hit enter. Now it flagged one thing, the shade names, and asked what our goal was. So let's lock in the shade name according to the image, and I want to make a product launch video. It also asked us to lock a CTA. I'm picking follow for the drop since the product isn't out yet. Drop that into the chat box and hit enter. Now it is asking us for the aspect ratio and handle. For aspect ratio, I'm going 9:16 for reels and shorts, and for the handle, let's go Naso. Then it asks if there's a person in the ad. And this one is important because whatever image you give here is the face it locks in for every single shot. So I attached a few of my images. Now, as you can see, it's asking us to confirm everything that should go in the ad. I chose face plus product hero, but I asked for it to be vibrant and to match the reference I attached earlier. And finally, it asks about audio. I'm going with just music and sound, no dialogue, because with AI ads, the talking usually breaks. You can always add a voiceover later. Once you've answered everything, it hands you the full package. The ad concept, the color palette, the runtime, the CTA, the full workflow, the script split into 2 segments, beat by beat, the character profile and location, the shot list, every image prompt. 2 master prompts, 1 for each segment in Flow, the character sheets, and the tag list, which is what keeps everything consistent later. That's a full production brief out of one file. That's what a skill does. That's Claude's part done. Right now it's all text, and text doesn't sell anything. In step 3, we turn that text into the actual images. So for step 3, we're using ChatGPT to make our images. The free plan works here too. Now, Google Flow can make images. We're not using it for that, and here's why. For a realistic ad, the product has to look exactly like your product, not a lookalike. And your model has to look the same from every angle. And GPT Image 2 is simply the best model for that right now. It holds the product and it stays consistent. I'll show you why when we generate our storyboard. So once you're in, drop in your first prompt and don't attach anything to this one. Because when we generated the brief, Claude already told us which image goes with which prompt. The first prompt is mainly to lock in the world of the ad, so just drop the prompt, then hit enter. As you can see, the first image came out clean. Now drop in your second prompt, attach the image you just generated and hit enter. And look, the product sits right in the same background. So let me generate the rest of the images. As you can see, all images look consistent. And download every image before you move on. Save them all first so everything stays consistent. Now the last one is the storyboard. And almost everyone skips this part. The storyboard is one single image, every scene laid out as a panel, like what happens and at which second. For this one, attach all the images you generated and the product image, then hit enter. And if you see here, the face didn't drift across the panels. Now compare that to this one. I generated this storyboard with Nano Banana Pro. Look closely. The 5th panel is identical to the first, and the 3rd panel doesn't even show all the tubes. That's why we're using GPT Image 2 for the images. Now, let's download it. And this is the most important image we've generated so far. So now we have the stills and the storyboard. But images don't move, and an ad moves. So step 4 is where it comes alive. So for step 4, we're using Google Flow. This is the tool that turns our still images into actual video. Flow is Google's AI filmmaking tool. You give it an image and a prompt, and it generates the motion, the camera move, the product turning, the model in the scene. That's what animates everything we just made. So once you enter Flow, you click New Project. On the left, you've got your media, your characters, your scenes, and your tools. And this is your chat box. Now, click the plus button and upload media. And you upload everything, the product photos, all the stills, and the storyboard we generated in the last step. Then drop in the master prompt Claude gave you. And as you can see, I'm removing the segment 2 part from the prompt. Now this next part decides everything. If you look at the prompt, Claude wrote it with slots in brackets. The storyboard, the product lineup, the character sheet, the hero product portrait, the tube texture. Each bracket wants one specific image, so you fill them one by one. Where it says storyboard, click the plus, pick the storyboard image and add it to the prompt. Where it says product lineup, do the same, plus the lineup image, add to the prompt. And you do that for every bracket. Because any image you don't attach, Flow just ignores. And that's the exact moment the face starts drifting. So attach all of them. Now one more thing, and this is the one people miss. You turn on Agent because the agent actually thinks. It reads all your attached images and the storyboard, works out how everything fits together, and then it comes back and asks you to confirm before it spends a single credit. So it's not randomly generating and burning your credits. It checks with you first. That's the whole reason we attach the images and storyboard. The agent uses all of it. Now, hit enter and we'll wait for it to finish. Let's see what happens. And as you can see, it's asking me to approve the segment, 15 credits. So let's click approve and wait for it. As you can see, nothing drifted and it looks really good. That's segment 1. Now segment 2, same thing. But first, remove segment 1 from the prompt so it doesn't run again. Then reattach the storyboard and images into the brackets and hit enter. And this time it asks for a shorter segment because there's only a little left. So approve it and let it run. And one thing to know, Flow films in short bits. But the master prompt already handles that, so each bit ends exactly where the next one starts. Similar music, same look. Generate 2 or 3 takes, keep the best. So now we have our clips. And that's a film crew, a camera, and a location. Replaced. But a pile of clips isn't an ad. It's the edit that makes it one. So, step 5 is to stitch everything together. For that, I am using CapCut. CapCut's a free video editor. It's where we stitch the clips together and drop in music. So once you open it, the free version's totally fine. Just import all the clips and drop them into the timeline in order. Now, both the clips have their own audio, and here you can add any other audio. I just used upbeat, no copyright music from YouTube. Bring that into the timeline too and just arrange it. Now, that's the full thing. Let me play it. And that's your ad. Now just click export and download and we're done. But before we finish, let's be honest about money and limits. Each segment in Flow ran 15 to 20 credits, depending on how long the clip was. This ad had 2 segments, plus a couple of others, so the whole thing cost me nearly 60 credits. Now compare that to an agency. Thousands of dollars, a shoot, a crew, weeks. You just did the same thing in an afternoon. And here's what it can't do yet. The tiny details like text, labeling on the product, hyper-realistic images and videos. And on a bad generation, the product itself can bend or stretch. So you'll have to retake it till you get it right. And if a clip drifts your product, don't hide it. Just run it again. And that's why we started with a real product image. So look at what just happened. We took one photo of a product and turned it into a full commercial. The concept, the shots, the model, the motion, the edit, all of it. That's the work of a creative director, a photographer, a film crew, and an editor, done in just a few hours. And if you want the skill that ran all of this, comment ads and I'll send it over. And next, I'm running this exact pipeline for UGC ads, the kind that look like a customer just filmed them on their phone. I'll see you there.